Let's start with the bar warm-up, which is standing. We're going to start standing. You're going to open your legs. You're going to relax the shoulders to start with. You're going to inhale, lift, exhale, reach back. Inhale, lift, exhale, reach back. Good. We're going to slightly go into a plie, and you want to make sure that the weight is on the outside of your feet. Okay? Reaching down here, and we're going to press down into the feet and lengthening here. Now, what is important when we're doing these exercises when we are pregnant is actually pelvic floor. Oh yes! Well, something you need to understand with pregnancy is first trimester, second one or third one is going to be really different. So first one, nothing's really happened, it's really tiny, so they can do absolutely everything. The only problem they're going to have is they're going to feel sick. You are going to be usually the first one knowing that they're pregnant. So obviously you keep it secret, because you never know how the pregnancy is going to progress, you know. You do have miscarriage as well, and nothing that you do in a Pilates class or in a bar class has an effect on any things with miscarriage, so don't worry, we're not doing anything silly. So that's something you need to understand, because often instructors are really scared of that. What you want to make sure is they're taking their time like we are doing right now. So reaching down and lift, down and lift, and stay here. You want to make sure that the pelvic floor is lifted. Second trimester and third one is going to be much more critical for your clients because it's heavy, you know, so you want to make sure they're lifting up the pelvic floor. Tucking under the pelvis, so in that position the lower back is going to be important, so try to lengthen from here. You do not want it to go out. You're shortening the lower back, and that's not what we want. We want to lengthen the lower back, we want to protect the lower back, and we want to really work on your abdominals here, okay? And reach up again, and down, and up and down. Stay here. Reach one heel off. You're going to start opening your arms, soft elbows, and we're going to add pulses. Open the knees to the side here. So first trimester, second is fine. Third one might be a little bit more difficult because they are very heavy. So usually on the third trimester, I make sure they don't go on the toes. Everything stay down, okay? And down, we swap side. Swapping side. Good. And really opening the knee to the side. And come down. Reach up and move your hips side to side. So side to side here. Side to side. You always want to make sure that you're releasing any tension on the lower back, because pregnancy, oh yeah, back problem. So I'll give you lots more exercises later to release any tension on the lower back. And come back here, moving side to side. So in a bar class, you can add as well cardio, so like reaching to the side, reach down and up. So this is completely okay, but you never go crazy. You don't want the heartbeat to go too high. I would say that they need to be able to talk still. So 60% really they need to give you, even if they're doing like cardio. But you want to make sure they'll be able to talk at the same time. Inhaling, exhaling. The breathing technique is going to be important as well for them. Good, and come back. Reach down again, so we're still opening here. And now I'm going to reach to the side, so reaching to the side, reach down and up. Down and up. In a class, I want you to make sure that when your pregnant women are coming, You make sure they've got a bottle of water next to them. That's very important that they drink as much as they can. Then stay here, tiny pulses. And come back. We go to the other side. We do exactly the same. Big one to start with. Remember, second, third trimester, depending on how heavy your clients are, you're not going to open your legs too much. Always make the movement smaller. It's really only the first trimester where you can go crazy, but second and third, just be careful. Stay here, tiny pulses down. Opening the chest and come back. Always think, like with your clientele, it doesn't have to be pregnant women, but always think about your posture and reach your hips side to side. Side to side. So I always try to do a 10, 12, 15 minutes warm up. When they're nice and warm, boom, at the bar. So let's go at the bar. So if you've got a chair at home, grab a chair. And we're going to grab the ball. Okay. Ball between your knees. You want your feet in parallel. And actually with my pregnant women, I always try to have them in parallel, especially if they've got like joint problem. I would say on the third trimester, some of your clients will come to you with joint pain around the pelvis area. It's your pelvic symphysis, and what's happening here around the joint where you've got your pelvis, the two joints will meet, it's painful. You don't want to open the legs. That's a no-no. So always try to do everything in parallel, otherwise it's going to get worse, so you don't want that. And it's quite painful for them. So reach here, you're going to reach down. So from here down, and lift up. When you're lifting up, you want to make sure that you're tucking under the pelvis. Remember, back problem is something they're probably going to complain about. So down and lift, tuck. Try to lengthen. Every movement is going to be gentle. We don't race here. We're not going fast. And reach. And that's actually what it is with any of your clients. You don't want to rush it. You want to make sure the technique is perfect. Otherwise, they will end up with injury. So you want to make sure you're looking after them. Then stay down. So stay down. My feet are in parallel. I'm trying not to do that, otherwise it's opening here, the joint again. You want to bring it back here. Tiny pulses. And I'm working on my inner thigh even more. So try to have the legs a bit closer. All right. With my pregnant women, I love working on the inner thigh. That's going to keep your pelvis stable. Why? Because the pelvis goes all over the place. Well, it goes all over the place with most of the population, to be honest, with most of my clients, but with my pregnant women, you've got relaxing hormones kicking in. And relaxing hormones doesn't just go around the pelvis, it's around every single joint in your body. You want to make sure that the pelvis is not moving all over the place. You want to make sure your inner thighs are strong enough. And let's face it, it looks nicer for the legs, yeah? So I'm going to concentrate on working more on the inner thigh and keeping the pelvis stable. Now, if the person is not too heavy, I will go with one leg and reaching down, really working on the glutes. And swap side. Working on your breathing. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhaling, exhaling. Pull your tummy. And reach again. And reach again. Pulling from the tummy. Pelvic floor is engaged. Lifting up. Pelvic floor is really important, not just during pregnancy, but actually after pregnancy. Oh yeah, all the moms here, hello, you know what I'm talking about. and reach again. That's definitely my specialty here, pelvic floor. After 5 kids, I think the last one came as a parachute with my pelvic floor, yeah? Oh, okay, probably not. And swap side and come back. Good. Now what I'm going to ask you to do is to have the ball behind your knee. We need to be working on balance as well. And your pregnant women, as they're getting bigger and bigger, they're all losing their balance. So you have to be really careful, and it's why the ball is fantastic for that, because you can hold it. We're going to have it here behind, and I know it's only on one leg, and when the pregnant woman is really, really heavy, I'm never going on one leg just because it's a little bit too much for her. But make sure you keep the movement small. So here, I'm pressing down into the bar. I'm going to lift the knee. It doesn't have to be too high. If it goes too high, she will feel it on the lower back. You don't want that. Remember, she's got a massive belly here. Well, massive if she's on the 3rd trimester, yeah? Reach down and lift. Reach down and lift. Reach down. Pull the tummy to protect the lower back. And again. And reach. And again. And lift. Good. And stay here. We're going to stay here. You want to make sure the hips are square. They're facing down. So you don't want to start opening your hip. It's stay down here. Now flex your foot. You're going to bring your heels to your bum and tiny kick, 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 and controlling the pelvis here. Once again, we're really working on your glutes, but I want you to make sure that your pelvis is in neutral position. Good. And come back here. We're going sideways. So sideways, give them a break, by the way, going from one leg, then to the other leg, then to, actually, let's do it together this way, like you would do in a class with your pregnant women. So, I'm going on the other side. Going here, place the ball behind, reaching up. Are we ready? So, keep the hips facing down, reach and reach up, and down and reach and down. So everything should be controlled. Absolutely everything should be controlled. Now something I'd like to add is, keep doing it, but I've been teaching pregnancy classes for so long. I've been obviously pregnant myself 5 times, but what is important is when you're going to do your class is to design a class around pregnancy, even if people who are coming to you are non-pregnant. So let's go back here because you probably have enough now. Stay here. You're going to bring your heels to your bum, heels to bum. Heels to bum, keep the hip facing down. Now, what I want to say is, I used to do just pregnancy class, but then unfortunately you do have lots of people who are going to have miscarriage. Then you're losing these people. So what I created, it's a bar class, but then the pregnant woman, I was allowing 5 pregnant women to join that class. This way, it was a mixed. So when it is a mixed ability, I think it's what really threw instructor away, and it's like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? Now come back here, guys, and relax. Good. Let's go to the other side. Yes, that's usually what instructor gets really scared. It's like, what do I do? You know, I've got 2 or 3 clients in my class, and they are pregnant. All the others are not pregnant. I'm going to tell you what I was doing and what I've been teaching my instructors, because I've been having a studio in Kent, in Tunbridge Wells, which was at one point the biggest studio in the UK with 60 classes a week. But what I was teaching my instructor really was prepare your class for pregnancy. It will benefit the other people anyway. So always make sure you prepare it for pregnancy, and then the others can just come in as well. And the fact that you can mix the pregnant and non-pregnant, it's actually beneficial for you financially. It makes more sense. Okay, grab the ball, place it behind, and we're going down here and reaching up and down. Now, if your pregnant woman cannot lift the leg, the knee that high, it does not matter. Just small movement here. You have to listen to them, and you have to always ask them feedback. And another thing as well is we're not doctors and we're teaching Pilates. So whenever there is a problem, a pain, which should not be, they need to go and see the doctor. Just refer them back to the gynecologist or whoever they're seeing, the nurse. And stay here, and we're going to go up and 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and calm down. Let's go to the other side. Now, a question I have a lot as well from my pregnant ladies is, until when can you do a bar class? Personally, I think with the bar, it's so much more functional. At my studio, I would only get my pregnant women at the bar, not even on the Pilates equipment. That was at the bar. It's functional. They could do it until the end. To be honest, I had clients doing it. They were 39 weeks pregnant. Boom, I know they were not doing all the exercises, but yes, they can. So position yourself and lift up and down. You always want them to perform the exercise beautifully, and the technique is going to be more important than anything else. To be honest, in every of my classes, technique has to be on point. It has to be the best. And then when you're pregnant, it's even worse. Okay, you want to make sure you're doing it and they're doing it properly. And then stay here and tiny pulses up and up and up. So we will, obviously, in bar classes, such as in Pilates, no bouncy movement at all when they're pregnant. You don't want that at all. And reach down, relax. Good, excellent. Can you feel that? Now we don't need the ball, so we can place it to the side. Something was going to help them to stretch is extending the legs at the bar on your chair. If you're at home, you want to lift the pelvis, you want to lift the glutes up to the ceiling as I'm pressing down here. You want to make sure they're going to release tension on the lower back, because they are going to suffer from the lower back big time. And tuck under the pelvis and reach down. And movement is key. You know, when you do have people getting pregnant and getting scared straight away, and they're scared of hurting the baby, okay, let me tell you, in Pilates or bar, you can't, so it's fine. That's actually quite good for them. It's going to be really helpful if they've got back problem, first of all. Doing some exercise is important. For the labor, it's going to help. The breathing, because we work on breathing as well. Constipation, you know, that's something that a lot of pregnant women do suffer with. It's constipation, so it really helped them as well. It really helped them with the mental health. For me, it was mental health. It really helped me. I can see the difference between doing the bar or Pilates pregnant and non-pregnant, and I can tell you it was huge, a huge difference. Then stay here, relax. So by the way, the exercise we were doing, it's very much like the one you do on the floor, which is a cat. So that's something you need to remember. I used to do the cat with my first pregnancy. I was actually 3 months in hospital with my first pregnancy. I had everything possible happening during that pregnancy. and they kept me in hospital, which really I had really bad back problem. And the cat is definitely the one that you want your clients to be doing. Now, let's go to another one. You want to extend here, but you're going to extend the leg. Another thing I need to talk about is relaxing hormones. Relaxing hormones going to start coming into their body, I would say around the second, third trimester. What does that mean? That means they're going to be much more flexible around joint, so any joints. And it's why I'm not a big fan of doing yoga and during pregnancy, because you're going really crazy into the stretch where you need to look after your pelvis. So once again, maybe they're going to open so high. You don't want that. You want to control. We're controlling everything here. Touch the floor, lift up, extend the leg. Touch the floor, extend the leg. And again. So always really careful with flexibility when they are pregnant. So that's one thing I'll be really careful with them, because yes, they're so much better than they usually are, but you don't want them to end up with an injury, and it will happen, so you have to be careful with them. Good. Then stay here, relaxing everything, and tiny pulses up. Now, the way I change my bar workout with my pregnant women is I would do like repetition. Like let's say now the bar with one leg up, I would probably go for 5, 6 different exercises. Well, with my pregnant women, I won't. So you'll have to change your entire class around your pregnant women, as I did mention earlier. And then reach down and relax. You probably feel it in your back and your glutes. They will feel it too. So you want to make sure they're stretching. So in between all these exercises, I will ask you to make sure you're stretching everything. Are we ready to go on the other side? So other side, lift and touch and up. And work with the breathing. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhaling, exhaling. And whenever you're working on one leg, make sure that they're holding on something, because their balance is going to be really affected. Oh yeah. If I tell you a little story about myself, but I used to fall all the time. I would be crossing the road, falling on my butt. My kids thought it was hilarious. You just lose your balance. So just be careful. You don't want any accident to happen at your studio when you're teaching. Usually, you know, the person knows when something's not right, and they will tell you. It's why it's important with your pregnant women, actually with anybody with an injury or with anything, to always ask for feedback. Now stay here and reach up, up, up. Take your time here, not opening the hip. Up, 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 and come back. Come back here. Good. Okay, come back in front of your bar, lifting up. So both of your, I'm on my toes here, so with both of the legs, and reaching down. And reach up again. And down. So at the bar, you do have lots of exercises in first position. Yes, it's okay. It's fine. You can go on first here, but the only thing I won't do on second and third trimester, and once again, it's all depend on your clients, guys. You have to always ask them, are you okay? How do you feel? But third trimester, they're much bigger. I would not go on the toes here. But then some of them who used to come to you before will be fine. The new one, I'm much more careful. And you're going to have lots of them, because usually when they get pregnant, they're like, oh, I'm going to start something new. And they come to you. It's okay, because Pilates or bar is safe. but you want to make sure they're not doing something they should not. So here I'm on my heels together, reaching down. We're going down for 2 count. 1, 2, then reach up. Guess what? It's working on your pelvic floor now. Then down, down, and your inner thigh. Everything I like. And down, down, and lift. So if your client is too heavy, down here. And I'm saying with pregnant women, but if you do have clients who come to your classes and they're actually quite big, I won't go on their toes either. So it's very much depending on the weight, really. And on the third trimester as well, you know, when they're at the end, the baby is going to start moving as well, so you don't want them to lose balance, okay? Then stay here and tiny pulses. When you do your pulses, you want to make sure we're opening the knees to the side. So now stay here and reach back and back. So for people who do not have a good balance, that it's with pregnancy or not, you do have people with earring problem as well, and they lose their balance. Have them facing the bar. It's easier for them to have both hands at the bar. Okay, that's not just for pregnancy, it's for anybody who's got earring problem or balance problem, really, mainly. And otherwise we come back here and reach, working on your inner thigh, and reach even more. Down, down, and lift. Down, down, and lift. Down, down, and lift. Good, and you're going to move side to side. Okay, relaxing your shoulders here, one hand at the bar. We are still on first position or in parallel, you choose. Remember that if your client's got pubic symphysis problem, I want them in parallel always. So it's a joint pain around the pubic bone. And one leg's coming here, we're going to work on the front of your thighs. You want to lengthen the spine. And here you're going to discover that actually they can't kick that high, and it's okay. Actually, normal population probably can't kick that high, so don't worry, just here it's fine. You want them to feel the burns on the quadriceps, so you're going to tell me, guys, if you feel it. So stay here, keep the pelvis in neutral. I don't want that, you know, and I see that a lot. It's here. I'm still lengthening as I'm doing that, okay? Hold. Are you smiling? Oh, my one, I can really feel it. And reach down. Relaxing your shoulders here. Relax. All the tension goes on the shoulders usually. Pull your tummy, lengthen the spine, and then we're going to reach up, quadriceps working. Stay. And reach down. And then we can add little movement up and down. But remember, I'm here. I'm not here. So here, quadriceps working, quadriceps. So quadriceps, like any muscle in your body, is going to be so important when they're getting pregnant, because you have to remember they're getting heavier and heavier. You want to protect the knee. The knees are going to be protected if your quadriceps are strong. Otherwise, you're going to see lots of people with knee injuries because we are getting heavier and heavier. For me, it was back, definitely back. I never had any problem with the blood or, you know, big legs or whatever, never. But my back, always gone. Lengthen the spine, and every single pregnancy is going to be different. I had 5 of them, 5 kids, 5 pregnancy, and all different. First I had a C-section, then I had normal delivery, then normal but complication. So it always different. Always ask them if they had complication in a previous pregnancy. That's always an indication as well for you. And come back, relax. Woo! Can you feel that? Okay, you know what? We have to do the same on the other side. So building up strength on the quadriceps is going to be important. So let's go on the other side. And we're going to reach up and stay. Remember, you're lengthening your spine behind, you're lifting. If you want to lift high enough, but you want to keep your pelvis stable, you don't want to start doing that. And that's important, and that I see it most of the time. And to be honest, in any classes, it's not just when they're pregnant. Another thing I haven't talked about, which I see a lot. I'm trying to give you all the information, guys, so sorry, I'm jumping from one thing to the other. And reach down. But you are going to have clients coming to you who are anemic, and maybe they've been anemic before coming to the class or before being pregnant, or they became anemic as well during the pregnancy. Anemia, it's especially severe anemia, it's going to be a challenge for you guys because they're going to have dizziness, they might be fainting. I know it's scary, but you need to know if they are anemic or not. Stay here, lengthening your spine. By the way, I'm anemic, and I never really fainted in a class. But you never know, you want to do everything. Placenta previa as well, it's a no-no, you'll have to be careful. But usually these people know when there is a problem. Reach down and lift. Down and lift. Good. Really trying to think about lifting from your knee. Your knee is in parallel. You don't want it going to the side. Working on your breathing, lengthening your spine. Are you still working on your posture? Because posture is going to be so important during pregnancy, more than the normal population that we usually see. And remember, you want them to drink lots of water. Hydration is going to be really important during pregnancy. You don't want them to be in a really hot room. Like for instance, I would say hot yoga, big no. Okay? You want them to feel cooler. And come back, relax. Ooh, are we feeling that now? Good. Are we ready to go on the floor? So we're going to move the bar away, grab your mat or whatever you have. We're going on the floor. Okay. And now on the floor, I'm going to grab the ball again. And let me drink something quickly. By the way, I'm just going on top of the surface with injuries, illness during pregnancy. I've got a course just on that, which is the Bible for pregnancy during Pilates and Barre. But that's not what we're doing today. I'm trying to give you as much as information as I can, but obviously there is so much more that if you really want to learn about that, you can go through. Okay, grab the ball. You're going to place it behind your back. It's not really your back, it's actually I'm sitting slightly on it. It's my pelvis. Here. Now with pregnancy, this ball is magic to me. Not just with my pregnant women, I use it with everybody. I started with the pregnant one because it really helped them, but then suddenly I realized, oh my God, all these people with back problems going to be really helpful for them. And yes, it does. So stay here, nice and straight, so flat back to start with. Always flat back, you don't want them to be sitting here. You have to remember they're going to have this big baby in their, growing, and it's, by the way, it's not just the baby. Your blood is going, if I was telling you what's going on during the pregnancy, it's completely crazy. But the supply in your blood is double what you have right now. Everything is pushing away, all your organs pushing away for the baby to grow. Then you've got so many things happening as well. So it's why they feel so uncomfortable, and you can't blame them. But you want to make sure that in that position they can slightly open the legs depending how heavy they are. But what you want here, it's pressing down into the lower back and reaching back. And just by doing that, we're working on the lower abdominals. Guys, transverse abdominis is going to be super important during pregnancy. Well, it is important for anyone, to be honest. For me, actually, your pelvis for a woman is the heart of a woman, because everything's happening here. You've got your period, you've got the babies, you've got menopause, you've got so many gynecologic problems here. So if you're not looking after your pelvis, nothing's going to go right. So from here, you're going to come back. Working on pelvic floor, so lifting up everything. Now, oh, should I share it with you? But I've been interviewed once in a private clinic in Tommy Trials where I used to live, and I used to work with hospital as well. And they were interviewing me, asking me, how do you find your pelvic floor? How can we help women to find their pelvic floor? Okay, I've got a good one. Are we ready, guys? I want you, so stay here, first of all, let's not move. I want you to think about sucking up, scooping up a spaghetti through your back passage. Yes, you heard me. Through your back passage, because that's very much where pelvic floor is. Nobody tells you about that. Same when you're going to give birth, you know, nobody tells you. You might feel like you want to go for number 2. But this is really where you can get that pelvic floor so much better. And one thing which really annoys me, and I get so passionate about it, it's when people say to you, oh no, I had children, you know, I'm peeing on myself, or when I'm sneezing or jumping, I can't do that because I had kids. No, I'm sorry, but the pelvic floor is actually a muscle that we can work. And yes, we can make it stronger, and yes, we can lift it up. Okay, so I want you to tell that to your clients or to yourself, because it's so important to know that no, it's not because you had children, or it's not because that your pelvic floor was dropping, or you were weak here. We can work on it. So lift it up. Can you now think about it and do it? So spaghetti, you're going to scoop it up through your back passage. Boom. That's it. Are we feeling it? So that's good. Now reach back a bit. Now you should feel your lower abdominals working. So transverse abdominis is number 1 for me with a pregnancy. Something I would avoid doing is going crazy on abdominals during pregnancy, because I don't want any, well, I specialize in diastasis recti, which is a separation of the abdominals wall, but it usually happens during pregnancy. And it usually happens as well a lot with people who are super fit and will go crazy on abdominals. And especially, let me show you the one I absolutely do not want you to give your client. It's a bloody sit-ups. When you do that, you're moving from the head. So first you're pulling here. The tummy is going to come out. And when you're pregnant, you know, that's not really what you want. And they have to do it for 100 times, because obviously it's such a bad exercise that it doesn't work straight away. You want to make sure your body's not moving all over the place, especially not your back. And you want to make sure as well, so this one is great for that. And you want to make sure it's deep here and it's flat. So I'm here, just about here, that's it. Now, if you want to increase it like you would do in your class anyway, you're going to bring your arms up, but keep the ribs down. Remember that your rectus abdominis runs from the ribs down to your pubic bone. That's it, here to here. There is no abdominals on your neck. There is no need of pulling on the neck. And I see it all the time, and not just when they're pregnant, when they're not. That really annoys me. Sorry, I had to say it. But it's, yeah, please teach properly, and you'll see that your clients will benefit from it. They will come back to you because it's efficient, and they're not going to get injured. And that's number 1. So especially with a pregnant woman, just make sure they're going to be happy with the result, because when they're going to give birth, the abdominal will be there. One thing I would avoid as well, I will go sideways and do some rotation, but I'm not twisting completely. No, because that's going to pull on the tummy again. So everything here is going to be very small. Inhaling, exhaling, just about here. Now guys, you're not pregnant, you can go a little bit more if you want and add little pulses just for luck and just because you need to be working on it. But that's what I want you to know. With your pregnant woman, we stay here, no more than that. Then come back, reaching to the other side. And I had athletes coming to my classes and who became pregnant. We used to do Pilates before, and that's completely okay for them to go a little bit deeper. It's fine. But when they're not, don't take any risk. And come back all the way up. So in between, you want to make sure that they're stretching their lower back. To be honest, you know, when I teach a pregnancy class, it's very similar when you teach a class for back problem. And you have to remember that a big majority of your clientele anyway probably do have back problem, lumbar spine I'm talking about. Now stay here, lengthening, reach back down. Now how can we make it harder here? Super easy. Like you're going to start bringing one arm up and reach down. This is probably one of my favorite exercises. I probably do that exercise in every class because it's such an effective, it's very efficient way of working your abdominals here. Now if they're like, you're not pregnant right now, so you can keep the ribs down. Technique is first, so you make sure they are ready first. Feet are planted on the floor. We always start with the feet. For anything you do, feet are the foundation of your body, okay? You won't build a house on bad foundation. We do it constantly with our body, but I want them to be planted. Tuck under. Only when I'm ready, I'm going to bring both of my arms up, just because I know you're not pregnant, and come down. Now with your pregnant woman, you just go with one arm at a time. So can you see the variation? Like if I'm having pregnant woman coming to a class, I would go, yeah, of course I'm going to make it harder for the non-pregnant and the one who don't have any injuries. But if she's pregnant, she's going to concentrate here. So there is always a progression, you know, like here, I'm planning to do that. Well, for the non-pregnant, we're going to go a bit deeper and we can extend the arms and close them. Not for the pregnant women, obviously, because you don't want them to go a bit too much here, yeah? So there is modification, there is progression, I would say, for the people who are not pregnant coming to your class. But I usually do my class all around my pregnant woman. Now, let's go sideways. There are so many more on the floor, by the way. Oh, I forgot to mention, but this is an important one. On the second, third trimester, I avoid for them to be on their back. So, there is so many people really scared of having them on the back, and because it cut the oxygen. It's just because you've got a long vein which is around your spine, and when you're lying down for too long, it's not when you're lying down on the floor, it's for too long, it could, I mean, the baby could just cut the oxygen to your heart, and that's why we say do not go on your back. Of course, it never happened, but it's important that you know that it's super uncomfortable, to be honest, you know, when you're really heavy being on your back. So what I like doing, and actually, you know, I spend probably 20 minutes sideways, so all the ones sideways, you can do it with them, which is, by the way, beneficial for your other clients, yeah? So let's start with what I would do. So I would go here, make them comfortable. Now, because of the balance, they're not really good, I'm going to ask them to bend the bottom leg. Now the non-pregnant don't have to do that, they can just extend them, okay? So you want them with one hip on top of each other, you're going to lift up that leg, and we're going to start, so the starting point is, my foot is at the same level as my hip, not lower, okay, it's here. Then I'm going to go up, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5 and 6. Let's do 6, you can do 10 by the way in your class. Then you're going to go in front, we do the same, and reach. And 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6. Then we go back, 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 back. You want to open the hip flexors. No movement on the hips, pull your tummy, reach up. And 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6. Come back to center. Now we're going to make circles, but can you see my circles are going up? They're not going down. It's no point of going down. You always want to go up. We're working all around the hip, as you can feel, probably, and your glutes. Oh yeah, it is important. It is important to be working on your glutes as well. And reverse, especially when you're going to give birth, you want them to make sure they feel good, you know. They should be proud. Yeah, and that's what I want my clients, you know, after they give birth to feel like, because it's never the way we feel. Oh yeah, if you had kids, join the club. And come in front and circle again. So now you see I'm doing lots of repetition. I'm going up and down, I'm doing the circle, reverse. You probably won't do the whole set with your clients, but I want you to see what's possible. And reach back. So the back, I love it because it really opens your hip flexors, and you do the same. Circles, circles. Good. And reverse. Good. Bend the knee, flex your foot, and we're going to kick back. And 2, and 3. When the person is really big, you can actually put as well a cushion underneath their stomach to help them. But I find with the ball underneath your head, it's actually very comfortable for them. And come back, relax. Good. Extend the legs. Oh yes, they're still working on their waist. Even so, you know, as you're getting bigger and bigger, there is no waist. It goes somewhere else. But I want them, when they're going to come back to your classes, it's going to be still easier for them. And reach up and up, up. Good. So, by the way, once again, remember, I'm giving all these exercises. You can pick and choose. I just want you to have as many and to understand as well, you know, how it works. So it's really for your obliques here. Then reach down. You're going, with the top leg, you're going to slide it to your knee, then reach up, left. Flex your foot. Reach down to your opposite foot. And then slide it and reach. And down. So it's coordination as well. Oh yeah, that's another thing you lose. We call it baby brain. Oh my God. Yes, I forgot about that. Baby brain, you forget everything, you know. Oh my God. We made to forget everything, guys. And reach. Now stay here. You're going to grab the foot and stretch it. I did say that you're much more flexible, so don't go crazy during pregnancy. They're just holding whatever they can. Then we're going to try to do circles here. So you see all that they can do. I know it's hard, but they can do it because they are sideways. So when they are this way, it's easier, except now if they've got the bump in the way, so you just move the leg here and you do the circle. It's fine. And reach down, and we're going to go up all the way, and down, and up, and down, and relax down. Good. And by the way, something I forgot to mention is when your legs are up, it's so important for the blood circulation because it goes back to your heart. If everything's function, it's just so healthy for them to have the legs up. What I used to do, and especially I spent a lot of time in the hospital during pregnancy, I used to have my legs up here and reading a book like this. So that's something you could suggest for your clients. Now, you're going to bring your legs together, heels just in line with your sit bone and open. So that's Pilates here. And this one you can do as well, it's very safe. I just wanted to add it. And reach and down and reach, and I'm sure you're feeling it in your bum. But you see, there is so many possibility when you're lying down. I usually do like 20 minutes, no problem here. Then you know you can just have this leg back and do your inner thigh. Remember, we need to be working on the inner thighs to keep the pelvis not moving all over the place. So that's a good one as well that you can do for them. Then they can stay here and you do the circles. There's so many exercises you can do for them. And come back. And let's go to the other side. And can you see that even if you were having a class just made for pregnancy, how it does benefit everyone? I mean, we're doing it. I feel it. I definitely feel it. So, yeah. Okay, lying down, we go to the other side. Okay, I've got something stuck here. Let me move it. Here we go. So we're going to lengthen the legs, or no, sorry, they're going to bend the legs for them. Then we're going to lengthen the top leg. And the foot is at the same level as the hip or slightly higher, and we're going to lift and down. We do for 6, you can do for 10. It's just we don't have time and I want to give you more and more. And then we're going to go in front. Remember, with your pregnant woman, you take time. And left. And left. And actually, if you manage to do that with all your clients, it's so much more beneficial for them if you take time. It's much harder, it's why they don't want to. Then we're going to reach back, opening the hip, and we're going to go up and down, up and down. But what I could say is, to me, the bar training is definitely more functional for pregnant women. It's just easier, and they can do it until the end, really. Okay, we come back to center. We're ready for our circle. Remember that the circles are going high and not low. Doesn't make sense of having them low because we want to target the glutes, and the only way to do it is to lift and pull your tummy in. Beautiful. Reverse. And come forward. We do exactly the same. So try not to go low, and I know it's usually what your clients would do. And reverse. You want them to go high, so I'm going to say it again, but you don't have to do all of them in one go. Absolutely not. Have breaks as well, and reach back, all the way back, and we do the circles. Opening the hip, lengthening the leg, and reverse. Pulling your tummy as well. And now bend the knee, flex your foot, and kick back. So you're opening the hip, and you're actually working on your glutes here. You can check. Yeah, I'm sure you're feeling that. That's good. And again, last one, and extend the legs. So both of them are going to come up, and we're going to work on your obliques. So coming up, and lift, and lift, lift. If you know me, you know it's one of my favorite, this one. I love it for the waist. And come back down. Good. Now you're going to slide your foot to your knee. Extend the leg up, flex. Reach it down and slide it. Left and down and slide it. Left and down. And slide it, left and down, and again. Now we're going to stay up, and we're going to bring that leg. Working on the breathing, and out. That's good. Bring that leg a little bit closer if you can. Good. Stay here, and let's go for the circles. And remember, the circle can be slightly lower. It's fine as well. So depending on the ability of your clientele, really. And then reverse. I feel it in my hip. Okay. Reach down and up. And down and up. And down. And up, down, stay here. So have the leg here, or behind, sorry, and you're going to lift here. Working on your inner thigh again. Remember, it's important to be working on the inner thigh. Working on your breathing. Stay here, we go for the circles. And reverse. Good. And come back here. You're going to bend the knees so your feet are going to be in line with your bum. We're going to open and close. So this is the one you know. And that one is definitely beneficial for your bum. They're going to love it. You know, it's not because you're pregnant and you've got a big belly and everything's going out of the window that you can't look your best, isn't it? And that's really what I'm trying to do in classes. You want to make sure that you're helping them with their confidence as well, because that's another big one. And come back, relax. Good, okay. Come back up on your knees. So the one I was telling you at the beginning, we're going to finish with it. Here, it's your cat. So you've got your cat here, which is going to really help you with your lower back. And reach again. If you want it to be working a bit more on the balance, because you remember they're going to lose it, you're going to extend one leg and bring it back. Then we'll do with the arms, and then we go both of them together. And come back and reach. And come back and reach. And come back and reach. Come back and reach. And this is a great one to be doing when they're pregnant. Anything this way, you know, on their knees, it's going to be beneficial for them, and it's going to be easier as well for them. Gravity is important, and like working on pelvic floor, this is a good way as well to lift up everything, because obviously because of gravity everything's going down. So you want to make sure they're working on it. Even just the breathing, like pressing down here, inhaling, exhaling. When they're exhaling, you want the abdominals to contract, so you can slightly go down like in the cat. Inhaling, let it go. Exhaling. Inhaling, let it go. Exhaling. And coming back to center. Now, another of my favorites. You're going to look to your side, to your foot. So it's a small rotation, which is important during pregnancy as well, to be working around your back, really. Because you're going to feel, well, they're going to feel really, really tight around their back, their hips. And come back here. Now, child pose, opening your knees to the side to let the bump go down here and relax. Inhaling, exhaling. And come back here. And from here, lengthening from the top. You want to open the pectoral muscle. I know I haven't spent much time on it. Have your hands together and reach up. But during pregnancy, it's super important because they're getting bigger on their boobs, you know? Everything's getting, the whole body is changing so much. But that's going to be the posture they're going to have. You want to start opening. Remember, we're working on posture. You want to lengthen. The reason people lose the balance when they're pregnant or when we're getting older, it's purely the posture. Because, you know, from here, looking down, you are going to fall. Same as, you know, when you're wearing high heels, you are going to fall. So we just do that to counterbalance, and boom, it goes in the lumbar spine. So we want to open the pectoral muscle here, your chest, and lift up here. So that's going to be something I want you to give your clients. I do work on their arms when they're pregnant, because they're going to end up with a baby in their arms. They need to get stronger on their arms, and after pregnancy, that's another class, but after pregnancy, they're going to be a lot like this, that they are breastfeeding or bottle feeding. That's their life for the next few months. Oh yeah, so you want to stretch them before they go into this phase. And please tell them to sleep, because sleep deprivation is another big one. Yeah, reaching up even higher, relaxing everything, lengthening the spine completely. And here we go. Okay, so you should feel that you get as much as information as you need to be creating your own bar and pregnancy class. Obviously there is so much more we can add, but as I mentioned, I've got a special course just for that, the Bible of the pregnancy and pelvic floors, diastasis recti, on everything, all the problem during pregnancy. But I'm happy to answer any of your questions if you do have any question.